That's right. It's another week and another board absolutely chock-a-block full of conversations. First point, City to Surf. For those that don't know, Susie completed the City to Surf course last week. So did John Carpenter, Jodie Collins, Renee Collins, Cherie Bobbledyke, and probably many others from the sensational Bega Valley. Nearly 80,000 people took part, which I think is just brilliant. Will I do it? That's a tough thing because, one, I don't like running and this body's not designed to run, especially 14Ks. But never say never is something that I've always said. So hopefully one year I'll get there and finish. Resilience, mental and physical resilience. Now this seems to be a bit of a buzz phrase at the moment, and I'm not sure why, because it's something that we've always done, and it's something that I think, between the bushfires of 2020 and the world shutting down in the middle of 2020 and then Australia shutting down again, I just think we probably are a bit frazzled. So the big thing here, folks, is remember it's okay not to be okay. And if you need to seek help and need to seek some guidance and some assistance, there's plenty of organisations you can reach out and talk to, all right? Just make sure, and this is something I always say with, when you're dealing with are you okay, is just make sure that that person that you think is going to be there for you is. Because it's a very tough conversation to have, especially when you're not sure how to deal with it. So, if you're not feeling the best in the body and the brain, go and get some help. Food. Funny how food is a discussion point here again at SOS. But the big thing from food is we need to remember that calories matter, all right? And there's some people out there that go, no, they don't, because you just need to eat carnivore or vegan or just eat whatever you want to eat. But you need to get a fairly good understanding of what you're eating, why you're eating it, and that food quality wins. Okay? We also need to remember the stuff that comes in bags and packets aren't necessarily bad for us, but it comes down to, again, that food quality environment. Okay? Topic, next one, is the Women's World Cup, and in particular those magnificent Matildas. Just, from everyone across Australia and probably across the globe that are Australians or claim to be Australians, sensational effort, ladies. Let's hope that tomorrow night you beat the Swedes and claim third spot. All right. I haven't watched much soccer for the simple reason is that you get a little elbow to your pink and you fall over like you're being shot with a Magnum handgun. But the way the women's plays, and this is across the board in sport, it just seems to be so much fairer. And and with that fairness comes out of the ability to play the game hard. So, well done, Matildas. Rugby league is our next topic, and who will make the top 8? Now, I'm going to take a photo of the board because hopefully they aren't shit this weekend. And we are talking about those Canberra Raiders. Yes, I am a Canberra Raiders tragic. I haven't always been, but, very ordinary last week. Just very ordinary, and I don't understand why. So, will they beat the Doggies this weekend? Oh, I hope so. But if they don't, I'm going to say that they will not make the 8. All right. Who will make the 8? Well, that's going to come down to whoever's left. Cowboys, I think, are gone. But in saying that, who knows at the end of the day. It's going to come down to the last 2 games. The Raiders have got Broncos and Cronulla that seem to be in the right end at the right time. While we're on the subject of food, butter versus margarine. Now, for all my dietitian friends out there, You know what my thoughts are here. If you're a healthy individual, butter is better than margarine. Why? Because it's the amount of ingredients when we're talking about food quality and food processing. Okay? Margarine, look at the list compared to butter. All right? Yes, butter is high in saturated fats. But at the end of the day, butter, to me, is better than margarine. It's not better when you need to spread it on your bread and you forget to take your butter out and you dig a hole in it. That's just life and you just got to get used to it. All right. But if your cholesterol is okay and everything else is okay, please don't be scared of butter, especially Bega butter, because Bega butter is the best. Another topic of conversation was Breakfast Club, not the movie, but the fact that there are schools, especially around the Bega Valley, that actually have breakfast clubs, all right? Especially in these times when everyone's finding it hard to feed yourselves. The fact that there's breakfast clubs at school that allow kids to go there and have breakfast, I think is an awesome idea. So well done those schools that are doing it. Injury management is a thing that we don't really get a lot of here because, we train properly and we warm up properly and we cool down properly and we, understand the importance of movement after exercise. But if you do get an injury for whatever it is and you think that it's serious, go and see a professional. Someone who is licensed, someone who is accredited, someone who has insurance. 3 big things when it comes to injury management, especially seeing a physio or an osteo. We have probably some very, very good ones here in the Bega Valley that we deal with on a weekly basis, especially with new clients. And it's something that, we can only do so much as personal trainers and strength and conditioning coaches. If you have an injury, go and see a professional. It's something that we probably need to get back into the process of. On another topic, fasting. Now, for those that don't know and for those who want to deny it, we do fast. Some of us actually fast for 10 hours a day. Some of us actually fast for less. But you fast when you sleep. It's a very important concept to remember. All right, there's some discussion around breakfast being called breakfast because you break the fast. However, that is another topic of conversation that we'll probably get into later on. But just remember that you're already fasting. So you probably don't need to fast anymore, especially if you're having a really, 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 really good sleep. And when I mean a really good sleep, I mean anything in excess of 7.5 hours. So if you're getting that quality sleep, you probably don't need to fast. There, I've said it. It's not a world breaker. People have said it before me. But that's something that we probably just need to keep in mind, especially when, we're now in August, September, and then the silly season of, Christmas in October, November, December is coming. So that's something that we need to probably, that we will discuss, leading up to the silly season, as I call it. Another topic of conversation was really good books you have never heard of, which is an interesting topic. So the topic is around, in particularly, War and Peace. Now, I have heard of War and Peace, but the best way that it was described to me is think that it was written by someone who was writing a journal who hoped that someone would pick it up. Now, does that mean that I'll read it? I probably will now because, especially, it's explained to me like that. So if you've got some really good books that is rather obscure and odd that you think people should read, just let us know. Send us an email, send us a text, drop us a line. Come in and see us, write it on the board. Another topic of conversation was exercise and mindset. Now, with exercise, especially the way that a lot of people do it, is they get cranky when they can't when they can't be their best all the time. And so therefore you actually crucify your mindset by having that approach. You need to think of exercise as something that you are capable of doing, okay? And you don't have to set PRs or break records every single time you are in the gym. Just for some people, just by turning up in the gym is a win. And we should treat that like that, especially with the mindset that we need to go and bust ourselves every single session. You don't have to bust yourself every single session. And if that's your mindset, just flick the switch. There's days that I don't even want to turn up. But turn up, just do some work. Your brain will feel better, your body will feel better. And the last topic of conversation is best gym song. Somebody wrote down Laser Beam by Low. And I must say, I have listened to it. Best gym song. Second best gym song. Third. Oh, I think I know who wrote it, and I'll be having a conversation with them next week, just to actually get my thoughts on why they think that, and for me to introduce to them probably some of the better known gym songs. So, Sweet Child of Mine by Gunners, AC/DC, Highway to Hell, You Shook Me All Night Long, anything from the Rocky montage. But one that really seems to get me cranky at the moment is anything from Disturbed. Why? Because it's got a really good beat. There's a couple of naughty words in it too. Shh, don't tell anybody. But it's just something that's really going to get, if you're in the mood, it'll probably spike you up a bit more. But you just need something that's going to switch your brain cells a bit. And the last topic of conversation is Redgum Farm bread. Susie's starting to make sourdough. And I've eaten lots of bread in my time. And it's not just because she's my wife. But that sourdough that she makes is... I don't want to eat anything else now. She's spoilt me. Anyway, that's conversations for... It's now 2 weeks. Just remember, be kind to yourself. Look after your brain. Look after your body. Love those that want to love you. Peace out. Be good.